My Hotpoint top-load washer has a loose drum. When it spins, it bangs around on all the walls and doesn't seem to be secured to the bottom.
Can you guesstimate how old your Hotpoint is? And just to clarify, what's the exact model?
We purchased it used in June and I think it was about 1 year old. The model number is.
Do you plan on doing the work yourself?
Hopefully, we are do-it-yourselfers when at all possible.
Anything else we should know to help you best?
A couple weeks ago it wouldn't spin when I had a big load in it, but after I restarted the load it didn't seem to have a problem. Today it was in the middle of a cycle when it all of a sudden seemed to have broke loose and started banging around.
Hello, I'm Joel and we'll be glad to help you today. The tubs in those models are suspended and kept in balance by suspension rods. If you overload the washer or try and run a load that is unbalanced with too much weight to one side of the tub, they will do that. Try adjusting the load out better and run it again. If the problem persists, then that means the suspension rods are worn out and need to be replaced. There are 4 on the unit, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. You would need 2 of each. Washer suspension rod assembly part hash, WH16 by 10158, click here. Washer suspension rod, rear part hash, WH16 by 10159, click here. Here is a video that shows how to replace them on a GE washer, which is the exact same as yours considering Hotpoint is made by GE. Click here for video. The only way I get credit for the time I spend helping you is if you rate the answer by clicking on the star rating system at the top of your page. Since I have given you the initial answer, I ask that you go ahead and rate the answer by clicking on the 5th star to the right so I get credit, and any follow-up questions will be free, and of course I will continue to help until your issue is solved. Thank you in advance.
We are trying to leave it unplugged for a few minutes, and then plug it back in to reset it, but now it doesn't seem to be spinning at all.
Let me know what happens when you plug it back in.
It filled but isn't agitating or spinning at all. We took the front panel and the top off to look inside. Could we have disconnected something that would keep it from working correctly?
Yeah, if you unhook the lid switch, wires.
I don't think we did. All the wires seem to be connected as far as we can see with the front panel off.
If you took the top off, you had to disconnect it.
We didn't full disconnect it, we lifted it off and held the top next to the washer so we wouldn't have to disconnect it.
May just need to reset it. You can leave the front panel off, just put the lid back in place as it should be, then follow the instructions below. To reset the inverter board, push the timer knob in so the washer is idle. Unplug the machine for 1 minute. Plug back in and raise and lower the lid 6 times within 12 seconds. Now if the washer still doesn't work, remove the front panel and look at the flashing light on the inverter board above the motor. Count the flashes. It will tell you whether the motor is bad or the clutch assembly is bad. If there is no flashing light or it flashes 5, 6, or 8 times, then it means your motor is bad. If it flashes 4 times, then replace the clutch. If there is no power to the inverter board at all and you see no lights on the inverter board, then odds are the inline fuse in the wiring harness to the motor has blown. To locate the fuse, remove the front panel of the washer and look at the wiring harness where it wraps around the suspension rod, and look for the taped part of the wiring harness. It's under there and linked in the white and red striped wire. Do not attempt to bypass the fuse, you could blow the motor if it's good. The fuse is part number WH49 by 10055, click here.
I restarted it and turned it to drain and rinse and it still won't spin at all. The light above the motor seems to be blinking continuously without pausing.
If it is flashing on/off every second consistently, that is just normal standby mode. You need a meter to test the continuity of the lid switch to make sure it's good. If you do not have meter, there is not much more I can do to help at this point. If you do have a meter, test the lid switch. Here is a video that shows how. Click here for video.
We have a meter but can't find where to test it. The video link shows a GE model and we can't find the wire connection behind the control panel.
You can check the lid switch at the inverter board on the motor. See the image linked below and put the washer on drain/spin and check for 120 volts at C2 pin 6 to 3. Click here for image.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/YTHI.